Hi, I'm SYRIUSly and welcome to my channel. I currently have a sync and code cracking blog and my address is synchromiss.wordpress.com. This is my first sync and code cracking video, and the reason being is because there's just too much information to blog out regarding the current events that are syncing up into the timelines. So let's go ahead and get into it. A few days before the month of July of this year, I started receiving downloads for the word basketball. I wrote about it in my blog with a post titled, "The Heat is On." So I'm going to go ahead and take it from there. In that post, I referred to something called the DET season, which was when the annual flooding of the Nile River in Egypt took place. The season ran from July through November. We know July to be the 7th month according to the Gregorian calendar. However, September is the real 7th month because Sept means 7. We know that basketball season ends in late June, early July, and starts up again in late October, early November, which is how long the DET season ran. Flooding starts to take place during the month of September in Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska, Mexico, and during the harvest season of Virgo. So the flooding that's taking place now makes a lot of sense because September is the real July. This is symbolic because Virgo is portrayed as holding the wheat. So Virgo represents the harvest season. I have been working on putting this video together for a little over a month, and I meant to have it completed and released during Virgo, which is a sign that we just transcended out of. In this slide, we have a picture of the Miami Heat, who are this year's NBA final champs. Miami Heat, decoded, stands for Mama is in Heat. The I in Miami stands for you and I. The I is the 9th letter of the alphabet, and the 9th month is September. And that's when the flooding in the Southwest started to occur. Now, who goes into heat? Female dogs. Dogs equals gods, and we humans are the gods here on earth. Dogs bleed when they go into heat. The Fe equals iron, or the blood, and blood is red, which ties in with basketball because we're talking about the basketball or the root chakra. The base root chakra. The root chakra is red, and in the bottom right hand corner we have a picture of the root chakra. Fe is the atomic symbol for iron, or the blood, and when the Nile flooded, it brought forth rich silt with minerals such as iron. The Fe in the slide pointing to the 22nd and 23rd of July means that 722 is Pi Day because 22 divided by 7 is 3.14. Leo starts on 7/23, and Leo equals the cat. And we have a picture here of Bastet, who was an Egyptian cat goddess of the Nile Delta region. The Egyptians revered dogs and cats as gods and goddesses. The flooding symbolizes rebirth here on Earth. The ancients would locate the brightest star in the night sky, which was known as SOP-DET, SOPDET. SOP-DET also came to be known as Sirius. The ancients would look to this star to gauge when the annual flooding of the Nile would take place. So we have a slide here of SOP-DET next to Sirius. Sirius is also known as the dog star. This is the place where our dogs and cats originated from. We see Anubis to the right of Canis Major, and SOP-DET is on the left there. Anubis was also a jackal-headed dog god of Egypt. He was eventually replaced by Osiris. Keep Osiris in mind for later. The flooding of the Nile water symbolized bloodshed because this was the new beginning of the old end, washing away the old and starting a new this. We have a picture of the blood pointing to the base or the root chakra. We also have a picture of the tool shed because this is where we keep our harvest tools to renew the soil. The bloodshed is the tool shed, and Earth is shedding her skin and raising up into higher dimensions with this renewal that's taking place now. When we think of renewal, we also think of something burning away or down, and that's where the sept plus ember, the fiery embers come into play. And you'll see a photo of a man up here tilling the soil in the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner. The bloodshed is also metaphor for the floodgates that are opening now and all the DNA upgrades that we are receiving or about to receive. The soil from the flooding became enriched with nutrients, and we till the fertile soil. In the word fertile, we have Fe. The first two letters, again, is the atomic symbol for iron. Fertile soil. Now, going back a bit to August 25th and the VMAs, Robin Thicke came out dressed like a character we all remember from a popular 80s movie called Beetlejuice. The reason he's in this slide is because he represents Betelgeuse in the cosmos. Betelgeuse is the second brightest star in the constellation of Orion, which neighbors Sirius in the heavens. These two stars align with the Great Pyramids in Egypt, so this all ties in really well. Bring on Miley Cyrus, also at the VMAs on August 25th. Miley Cyrus is an encoded MC, which stands for Master of Ceremonies, as well as an anagram for medium Coley, which is translated as the midheaven in astrology. I said to save Osiris for later, and this is why. Osiris is the king of the afterlife, and he holds the gardening or harvest tools. The afterlife is really the new life here on the renewed soils of Earth. Miley Cyrus equals Osiris equals Cyrus the Great. Also on the August 25th, Syria was invaded, or so we're told. Cyrus, Osiris, Syria, Sirius, Assyria, the old Syria or ancient Iraq. Assyria was in northern Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is Mesopotamia. Pan is the same archetype as Osiris. Syria decoded is C-S-E-A plus Rhea, R-H-E-A. This is symbolic because we are looking to the seas as they are overflowing and flooding Earth with nutrients and knowledge. Rhea is also one of Saturn's moons. Saturn is known as the god of the harvest, so this sinks in perfectly. In my own personal reality, I have a very good friend named Rhea who is 5 months pregnant and due to have an Aquarius baby. This is all really perfect because Earth is now transcending out of the old age of Pisces, 3D, and into the new age of Aquarius, 5D. Rhea is pictured in the top right-hand corner. So right now we have the floods that are taking place or just took place in parts of the southwest. And this is metaphor for the annual flooding of the Nile. I am aware that there's other flooding taking place on Earth, but I'm just going to stick with and decode what's taking place in the U.S. for now. Boulder, Colorado. Colorado equals the color red. Colorado. Bringing us back to the red I had mentioned before. Boulder is code for rock, and the rock is code for earth. NM is circled because NM equals pi. N equals 14, and M is the 13th letter of the alphabet. And so that equals 3.14 or pi. Fe is circled because it's the atomic symbol, again, for iron. And we have a picture of Happy in this slide, right in the middle, who was a sacred god in Egypt associated with the inundation of the flooding of the Nile rivers. He was blue, which ties in with the Hopi Navi people who were also blue. As you can see, there's a picture of the Avatar people right underneath him. The Hopi people are Native American people who live out in the same area. Arizona, same parts of the Southwest. And Arizona borders those areas that were recently flooded. In this slide here, we have Rhea, who was the daughter of Gaia, and Uranus to the far right. Gaia equals Mother Earth. Uranus is the sky god. She is riding a lion. Syria is near the Mediterranean. Med equals middle. Terra equals earth. Ranian equals Rhea. So it's Med, Terra, Middle Earth, Rhea. We were just talking about the MC, which is the medium Colli, and that represents the midheavens. So Rhea, mythologically and symbolically, represents Middle Earth, between the ground, or Gaia, her mother, and the sky, her father, Uranus. We have an arrow drawn from the FE to an R above her head to equal fur, drawn to the till, which equals fertile soil, that we get with the annual flooding. Also, like iron, Fe, steel is another metal, and silt is a scrambled steel. Silt also equals salt scrambled, and the silt became enriched with salt. The L is up in the top right-hand corner because 12 is the number of Saturn, and Saturn is the god of the harvest. 12 is half of the 24 Jupiter hours that are within the day. Silt H equals 8, and there is a Saturn is depicted holding a sickle, and his symbol is an H. So that's why you see Silt H 8 there, because H equals 8. Steel is a tool company, so this sinks in with the tools that help till the soil. In the bottom left-hand corner, we added an N to the word lie to get lean, which I just mentioned in my last blog post titled 13 Onks Decoded or Banks Decoded. Lean, L-I-E-N, equals a scrambled Nile. We were talking about the fertile soil that brings us to the Fertile Crescent. This is where Assyria was. Then we have a picture of Syria and Cyprus is in the Mediterranean. The crescent is the moon. That brings us back to August 25th, which was not only the invasion of Syria, but also the 1-year anniversary of Neil Armstrong's death. Neil is a scrambled Nile, and his initials, is anagram for Nana. Nana was the Mesopotamian moon god. So we're talking about the Mesopotamian region. Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. Ass is circled in the word Assyria because what was Miley Cyrus doing at the VMAs on August 25th? She was twerking, and what does one twerk? Also, we have the crescent moon, which stands for Islam, and that represents the area that we're talking about. Now, in this slide, we have a picture of the Colorado floods. We also have a picture of the Denver Broncos versus the winners of last year's Super Bowl, the Baltimore Ravens. Notice how Colorado was playing just before the flooding started to occur in Colorado. The Ravens are like crows, and the crow represents Saturn. So we have a picture here of Saturn, bottom left-hand corner, holding his sickle or his gardening tool to cut the wheat with. You can see how his symbol resembles the letter H. He also represents time, and football, the sport, represents time because it's symbolic of the age of Pisces. Pisces rules the feet. The Ravens played the Denver Broncos. Now, Denver Broncos is 42 because D equals 4 and B equals 2, so that's a reverse 24, Jupiter's number. And the Broncos brings us to the horse, as we are preparing for the year of the horse next year, 2014. Also, some other really huge key events took place on August 25th besides the VMAs. There was the anniversary of Neil Armstrong's death. It was also the anniversary of R&B singer Aaliyah's death. A rare twin Star of David configuration portal opened. The Star of David syncs in with David Wilcock, who also released a book titled The Synchronicity Key, also on August 25th. And of course, the invasion of Syria, C-S-E-A plus Rhea, R-H-E-A. And that about concludes this video. Once again, we can see how everything is connected and everything is absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it and subscribe to my channel. There will be many more to come.